Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Seahawks Recap Show News of the Week, episode number 8. How we all feeling after week 3? It's finally concluded. We're already 3 weeks into the season. Oh man, we're close to October, man. Week 4 is October, and man, I'm feeling great. As a Seahawks fan, season's going well. Season is going very well indeed. I'm happy with it. So I'm happy as a Seahawks fan. I want to know how you guys are feeling after week 3. But welcome to News of the Week, episode number 8, and we have a lot to talk about because man, there were some games this week, and it's been a very entertaining week for football fans in general. So, without a further ado, and without me rambling too much in this intro, let's get in to the video. I called this episode Record Week because of what we are going to talk about a little bit later. Let's first start off with the week 3 game recap. 49ers versus Giants on Thursday night football, 30-12. 49ers win that one. And so yeah, as a Seahawks fan, pretty scary. Honestly, I don't like having them in the division. I hate it, honestly. Because they could run away with this division, and they could honestly, again, it seems like them and the Eagles could potentially win the whole entire conference without too much resistance. So we'll see what happens there. But good win for the 49ers, all things considered. Lions versus Falcons. What a statement from the Lions, winning 20-6. And this is what I said last week in News of the Week, episode number 7, I believe, talking about some of the teams in the NFC North when I was talking about the 0-2 teams, when I was talking about the Vikings specifically. But I said the NFC North is so wide open right now. It's the Packers, the Lions, and possibly the Vikings who can challenge. And more, it's looking like the Lions and Packers are going to fight it out. And I can't wait to see who wins out on that battle because it's always been the Packers' domain in the NFC North for as long as I can remember. But good statement win from the Lions over the Falcons. The Vikings versus Chargers. The Chargers finally get a win. And finally, man, like honestly, them being 0-2 hurt me a lot because you look at the Chargers and they shouldn't have been 0-2. They really shouldn't have. With the talent on that roster. You got Justin Herbert, you got Austin Eckler, you got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams, you got Jordan Palmer, who is a good option for you guys, you know. And then you got the defensive side of Joey Bosa and company, like Khalil Mack. They shouldn't have been 0-2, and I'm glad they finally got the win there over the Vikings, 28-24. But the Packers versus Saints, 18-17. Packers win that one out. Little bit of a nail biter again for the Packers, but a win is a win. I'm sure they will take it. And speaking of wins, this one wasn't a nail biter, but this was a big upset, and I'm so happy for the Texans. Man, oh man, 37-17. Jaguars versus Texans. Texans win that out in a big victory. Congrats. Congrats, Texans. I've always, if you know me, and if you don't know me personally, I'll just say this right here. I love underdogs. I've always loved the underdogs. I will root for any other underdog uh in the league because it's so nice to see them win. It's so nice to see them grow, and it's so nice to say to people, "Oh, look, this team's rebuilding," but then you underestimate your opponent and they could squeak out a few wins there. So it's nice to see. Let's get to the Dolphins versus Broncos, and this is something I will talk about later. Dolphins versus Broncos, man. 70-20. Yeah, you're seeing that right. 70-20. That's Madden scores, man. Like, I love Madden. I play Madden. Um, but the Dolphins were playing on rookie mode because that's just insane. And I will be talking about this more in depth later. Good win for the Dolphins. Browns versus Titans, 27-3. Browns win that one in a statement win over the Titans without Nick Chubb. It was great seeing Kareem Hunt back in the Browns organization. He is now back. 1 year deal for $4 million. I can't remember if I've said that before, but I'm gonna say it now just for reassurance. But good to see the Browns still kicking after the horrific injury to Nick Chubb, and I wish them all the best in their season. Let's talk about the Commanders. The Commanders versus the Bills, 37-3 over the Commanders. Bills win that one. Man, this was such a difficult game for Sam Howell and the Commanders, but you're not going to win every single game, Commanders. So be happy with the 2 wins that you do have because this is a good year for you guys. Still, I would still be happy about this. But it was 5 turnovers. So 4 picks from Sam Howell. He's a rookie. You expect that kind of from him. He will get better. You just need to stick with him. And 1 fumble from the Commanders as well. But we get to the Ravens versus Colts, 22-19. Colts win that in OT. Good for them, man. Going into the Ravens home and beating them outright is nice to see. And I think the Jets are really missing Aaron Rodgers. Just Jets versus Patriots, 15-10. Patriots win that out. And good for the Patriots, man. Getting on the board, 1-2 now on the year. Yeah, I'm not betting the Patriots out of getting into the playoffs because I will never bet against Bill Belichick because that man has some dark magic that no human can hope to possess. But Seahawks versus Panthers. Wow. Winning at home feels great, doesn't it? For the Seahawks. They win 37-27 over Panthers. And if you would like to see the full game breakdown and my reaction to the game, because I'm watching every single Seahawks game of this season and beyond, it is on my channel in the Seahawk game recap playlist. So go and check that out if you want more details. The Chiefs versus Bears. And I know Taylor Swift was there at the Chiefs game because ESPN and a bunch of other news outlets couldn't stop posting over the weekend about this ordeal, but I will not bring it up here. Chiefs versus Bears, 41-10. Chiefs win at Arrowhead, and the Bears season just seems to be getting a little worse, but it is the Chiefs, so take solace in that. And the Cardinals versus the Cowboys. Big upset for the Cardinals. Like to see that. 28-16. Cardinals win. And if you watched News of the Week episode 7, I was talking about the Cardinals. And, I've been talking about the Cardinals a lot recently and saying, they're ripping it down to the studs, kind of rebuilding from the ground up. And this is a good start because again, you still have guys that are hungry. It's still the NFL. You're going to still have teams that want to get wins as much as possible. And when you underestimate your opponent, when you say, oh, this opponent's rebuilding, it's going to be an easy win, it might not always turn out that way. And the Cowboys found that out the hard way. Raiders versus Steelers. The Steelers are still undefeated in Las Vegas. 5-0, I believe, is the record in Las Vegas. 23-18. Steelers win that out. Good win for them. Bucks versus Eagles, 25-11. Eagles win that on Monday Night Football, and it was a doubleheader on Monday Night Football. But DeAndre Swift, man, what a beast. What a beast. Has now found a system where he's getting better, and he could have a breakout season, man. I really like him with Jason Kelsey. I really find that chemistry to be very good. So it's all in all good job on the Eagles for winning that out. We get another doubleheader for Monday Night Football, and it was the Bengals versus Rams, 19-16. Bengals squeak out the win there, and good on them. You know, I still think Joe Burrow is having some issues with his calf injury, but good on them for getting the win. They're now on the board, 1-2. It's nice to see, and thank you for helping us out, Bengals, to try and keep this NFC West a little bit downtrodden. But let's get in to the week 3 injury report. Remember that this list is a little shorter today because there's not many IR situations, but a big loss for the Chargers. And that's Mike Williams. He was placed on IR on September 26th. He tore his ACL, effectively ending his season. I like Mike Williams. Let me just say this first off. I hope he gets back on the field in 2024 and gets ready for that season. And I hope he has a good recovery. But need to know, this injury gives rookie Quentin Johnson a big opportunity to prove himself. He was picked 21st in 2023 in the first round, and he was buried. He was buried on the depth chart. They have too many good wide receivers on LA. They have Keenan Allen, they have Mike Williams, and they have Jordan Palmer. And now, with Mike Williams' unfortunate ACL tear, it's giving Quentin a chance to probably take that second boundary position at wide receiver, and we'll see what he can do. So, good opportunity for the rookie to prove himself. But, and I'm going to mess up this name probably. I apologize for the Chiefs. Offensive tackle Prince Tega Wenwongo has been placed on IR September 27th with a quad injury. He is not ending his season, but he will be eligible to come back in week 8. And for the Jaguars, Devin Lloyd is out for the London games for September 27th. That was announced on Wednesday. He's recovering from thumb surgery and will likely be eligible to come back on week 6. So he'll miss week 4 and week 5 recovering from his thumb surgery. And that's a big loss for the Jags because that is their main middle linebacker, I would believe. Let's get into some discussion, shall we? And one thing I wanted to talk about, and the reason why I said it's record-breaking week, is this is the first part of record week. CJ Strout season so far. Let's congratulate him, first of all. Hand claps for his season so far because he is now third all time in most passing yards by a rookie through the first 3 starts since 1970 when the stat was tracked with 906 passing yards. I don't know much about the Texans and I'm not a Texans fan, so I don't follow as closely, but I didn't realize that this guy was doing the work as much as he has been. The only 2 people ahead of him on this list are Cam Newton with 1,012 passing yards and Justin Herbert with 931. I'm pretty sure that's pretty good company to be in. A guy at the top who is Super Cam. He was the franchise quarterback for Carolina. He was always a dynamic player to watch. And then you got Justin Herbert, who is no slouch himself. He's a top paid quarterback in this league. So to be up there, CJ Strout, good on you. And he's the only one on this list that hasn't thrown an interception in his first 3 games. Houston fans, Texans fans, you guys are going to have so much fun in the next couple of years with this young man and this team. I think bringing in a guy like DeMeco Ryan was a master class choice. I think you guys will have a very bright future. Again, I know it's only the first 3 games, so it's a small sample size, but he's really impressed me, man. He's really impressed me. I looked at that stat and I was like, wait a minute, what? He's doing this? How? I didn't understand that he was having this good of a season. And I hope he can be your franchise quarterback. After Deshaun Watson left, you've been missing that kind of franchise QB. So hopefully he can turn into one. And I wish you guys all the best. And I hope you guys can get back in the playoffs and challenge in the AFC. But the main event of the hour that I wanted to talk about, Sean Payton, let's talk. I just really don't know what to say. I'm going to try and keep my calm. I'm gonna try and keep myself mellow, but I don't know if I will be. So I apologize if I'm a lot more vengeful and kind of yelling because this really just makes me annoyed, even as a Seahawks fan. Let's start off congratulating the Dolphins. Miami, this win must have felt so good for everyone in that organization. Putting up 50 points on your opponent. You don't see insane blowouts like that much anymore. And it's nice. It's nice to see. I would bet for not only the organization but also the fans of the Miami Dolphins. You have one of the most explosive offenses in the league, and you did that. You did this. You dropped 50 points without Jalen Waddle. He was in concussion protocol. Chosen Anderson, if you guys haven't been paying attention to social media, it is Robbie Anderson, but his name is now Chosen Anderson. He was elevated from the practice squad for this game because of Jalen Waddle's concussion protocol, and he even scored a touchdown in this game. But I can't wait to see you guys. If you guys can keep this up, push for the Super Bowl. I am absolutely loving Tua Tagovailoa's season so far. I think finally he's getting the grips of everything, and he's going to have a breakout season. So far, he looks to be really dialed in. And I understand that I've seen some comments of people saying, oh, but Tyreek Hill's on the team. Any quarterback could be good when Tyreek Hill's on the team. Granted, that may be true, but Tua has to still fit in some pretty accurate balls to get Tyreek Hill these yards and everything. And he's really taken advantage of it. So I don't want to hear any hate towards Tua because he's putting in the work. Whether you like him or hate him, he's putting in the work. So just just keep those comments to yourself. I'm just going to throw some stats at you now. Not only did the Miami Dolphins tie the second highest scoring game in NFL history with that 70-20 win, but they could have held the record if they had just kicked the field goal instead of kneeling it. However, that's not all they did. They are now the fifth team since 1970 with 4+ passing touchdowns and 4+ rushing touchdowns in the same game. That is insane. Raheem Mostert turned back the clock. He went back to 49ers form, Raheem Mostert, and put up 4 touchdowns on you. Put up 4 touchdowns on you. And he's what, 31? So you're not expecting a running back like that with his kind of age that, will put up 4 touchdowns, but great for him. And let's talk about A-Chain for a minute. Rookie running back. He put up what, 200 yards, 206 yards, I believe, in his debut. So amazing for him. I like seeing rookies have big games in their debuts, and it's nice to see. But now we get to Denver. Again, gonna try to just breathe, but this is going to be difficult. Let's start off with Sean Payton. Sean, you said you wanted this team to be better than last year. You said last year's team was one of the worst coaching jobs that you've seen in the entire NFL this offseason to Nathaniel Hackett. Although you apologized for these comments, I don't care. You shouldn't have said them. I don't care if it's heat of the moment. You say things in heat of the moment that are kind of dumb, but you're a public figure. You should know better. You should have more PR training than that. At least last year, Nathaniel Hackett didn't let a team put 70 up on him and lose by 50 points. Honestly, after that embarrassing loss, your DC, Vance Joseph, should have been fired yesterday. And honestly, yesterday is too nice. He should have been fired right after that game. I know that Sean Payton's not the defensive coordinator, he's the head coach. And let me just start off by saying that I like Sean Payton. I do. I think he is a good coach. I'm just mad because I don't like what he's been saying. I didn't like what he said about Nathaniel Hackett. I didn't like that level of unprofessionalism because, again, you should be more professional than a toddler. Honestly, you really should. And back up your words. You're not backing up your words. You're saying, oh, we want to show that 2020 wasn't a fluke. We want to be a playoff team. Well, getting 50 dropped on you is not a good thing. And I know, they lost to the Commanders by 2 points. They lost to the Raiders by 1 point. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. Because you can look at that and go, oh, but they only lost by like 3 points in the last 2 games that, they should have won those games. Doesn't matter, they still lost. A loss is a loss. No matter how you slice it, you can give some positives, sure. But no matter how you slice it, a loss is a loss. Nathaniel Hackett went 1-2 in his first 2 games. In his first 3 games, you went 0-3. It's really hard to dig yourself out of a hole when you go 0-3. If you go 0-4 next week, it's even harder to battle back. And you really can't blame Russell Wilson for this. You have to look at the coaching, okay? Because Russell Wilson put up 306 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. What more do you want from him? What more could he have done except play defense himself? You are the head coach of the Broncos. So you could blame the defensive coordinator all you want, and you should, rightfully you should, but it all comes back to the head coach and GM. They will get most of the blame because the head coach is supposed to make sure that his OC, his offensive coordinator, and his DC, his defensive coordinator, are on the same page and are ready to call plays. If they are not, he needs to take over and try to give suggestions and work out what is working and what is not working. Because having a 50 bomb dropped on you, having an NFL record tied on you for most points is not good. It really isn't. And, Ryan, why are you mad? You're not a Broncos fan, you're a Seahawks fan. First of all, yes, but I'm also a Seahawks fan, which also leads to me liking Russell Wilson. Again, his jersey right here. I like Russell Wilson. I know what he can do. I know what he has done in his career, and I know what he is capable of in his career. Seeing him not play to the standard that I know he can hurts me as a Seahawks fan because I've seen him his entire career through Seattle. My entire fandom started a year after he was drafted. So, yes, this hits a little close to home, and I don't like seeing a quarterback that I hold in high esteem to fail. But I especially don't like when coaches come in or people come in and they have this sort of cocky arrogance to them to say things that they shouldn't be saying. You said that, oh, it was the worst coaching job I had ever seen in the offseason without even playing a game. And then you go and you say to the organization that hired you to be here, oh, it was stupid that the organization hired you. The organization shouldn't have hired you. The organization screwed up. Well, they brought in a good head coach. They brought in a head coach with 15 years of experience in Sean Payton, and he has showed up and not done anything. It looks like this team is going backwards because it theoretically is, because they had 1 win in their first 3 games and they now have 0. I don't know where the defense disappeared to, but that was one of the few bright spots in that 2022 season that they had. You fixed the offense a little bit. You've improved on offense, but you've completely neglected the other side of the ball. You've completely neglected it because it's just disappeared. It doesn't disappear overnight, or at least shouldn't. And that's where Sean Payton, you need to sit down with the GM and get a new defensive coordinator. That's the only thing I can think of that would show me any kind of results because it can't be worse than what you have now. It can't be worse than what you have now. I'm not rooting for anyone to lose their job. Let me be abundantly clear about that. The NFL is a hard gig to not only get into, but also survive in. I understand that. But after that amount of embarrassment, if you don't fix something real quick, your season could be over in a snap of the fingers. Again, I don't hate Sean Payton. I don't hate the Broncos. I'm just tired of them being being a little bit cocky at the start of their season because of the head coach. And then their head coach hasn't done anything to show that he's the right man for the job right now. I don't know what else to say about that. And I hope Russell Wilson can really find the strength to work things out and have a good rest of the season with the Denver Broncos. I'm rooting for the Denver Broncos to at least do something and at least achieve something, but it's not looking good. Anyways, this has been News of the Week, episode 8. And I thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like as it helps out the channel more than you know. And you can see me rage and stream about football even more. If you really liked it and would like to see any future content from me, please consider subscribing as it will help out me and show me that I'm doing a pretty good job. Anyways, this is Ryan Koke for the Seahawks Recap Show, signing off. Go Hawks, go! And make sure you come back on to the channel on Tuesday as I will have the Seahawks game recap, Giants versus Seahawks at MetLife Field for you on Tuesday. I hope you have a good rest of your week and enjoy week 4.